All right, always make sure you read the question first. A lot of times I seem like I'm blowing past it, but I'm not. What undermines the hypothesis, right? What weakens it? What's going to contradict it? So that really matters. I guarantee you there's a choice here that strengthens, supports the hypothesis, and if you don't read the question, you're going to miss that. So let's take a look. What is the hypothesis? Okay. When digging for clams, their primary food, sea otters, stupid sentence. When digging for clams, their primary food, sea otters damage the roots of eelgrass plants growing on the seafloor. Near Vancouver Island in Canada, the otter population is large and well established, yet the eelgrass meadows are healthier than those found elsewhere off Canada's coast. To explain this, conservation scientist Aaron Foster and colleagues compared the Vancouver Island meadows to meadows where otters are absent or were reintroduced only recently. Finding that the Vancouver Island meadows have a more diverse gene pool than the others do, Foster hypothesized that damage to eelgrass roots increases the plant's rate of sexual reproduction. This in turn boosts genetic diversity, which benefits the meadow's overall health. Wow, there's a lot in here. Okay, so what are they finding, right? So Foster hypothesized. Okay, let's start there. Foster hypothesized increases the plant's rate of sexual reproduction. So more damage leads to more sex, which leads to more diversity, which leads to better health. I would write this on my page, right? I'm doing it on the question because that's how I set this up for you. But you remember, you're allowed scrap paper during the reading section. You're obviously going to have it in math and you're going to use it a lot there. But I think people are going to neglect using it in the reading section. It's just as powerful. So right now, I have all these arrows going in the same direction. You might be like, well, why is that helpful, right? Who cares? But remember, we're looking for something to be undermined. So I'm going to look at these choices now and see, is there anything where I've got arrows kind of switching directions, right? Where I can turn the choice into my own little summary and kind of, I'll see that the arrows are flipping. That probably means it's undermining it. So let's see, I might be wrong here. A, at some sites in the study, eelgrass meadows are found near otter populations that are small and have only been recently introduced. Okay, I honestly don't see any connection there. What that would do with anything we're talking about. There's nothing. Maybe the increased damage means that comes from increased otters, increased damage. So if it's a small population, but I don't know what that would mean for the study. If it's a small population of otters, I don't know. This seems, I don't know. I just don't understand this. So let's skip it. At several sites not included in the study, there are large, well-established sea otter populations, but no eelgrass meadows. Okay, so let me think this through here. If there's large otters, more otters probably should mean more meadows, or the fact that it's no meadows, is 0 the same as like them being healthier overall? Like, how can it be healthy if it's not there? Again, this makes no sense to me. This might be right. C, at several sites not included in the study, eelgrass meadows' health correlates negatively with the length of residence and size of the otter populations. Okay, this is perfect. Because now, this is a choice I understand. Like, the fact you don't understand a choice isn't necessarily a bad thing, as long as you understand the right answer. And look, basically what this is saying is the health correlates negatively. So the health goes down when the length of residence and size. So more otters, in this choice, more otters means less health. So look, it's skipping a lot of intermediary steps that I needed in my kind of like summary of the passage, but it's still the fact that they're saying that if there are more otters, you're going to have a negative kind of reaction with the health, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean it the way that I drew it, where the health is going down. You could also have drawn it this other way. This would also be considered a negative correlation. Basically what it means is that as one thing goes up, the other thing goes down, right? So up, down, it doesn't matter which and which, because if you flip it, it'll still be one is up and one is down. So this is definitely going to be the right answer. I can already tell, because it's so clearly related to the idea that I was able to pull out of these lines. It's so obvious. Maybe there's some connections I can draw with A and B that I'm just not seeing, but the fact that this is like very clearly related to my arrows, they're talking about it in kind of like arrow terms, this seems really good. Let's look at D though, let's make sure. At some sites in the study, the health of plants unrelated to eelgrass, no, I can already tell it's wrong. correlates negatively with the length of residence and size of the outer populations. That also sounds really good. It has a lot of the same words that C does, but it clearly is wrong because it's not talking about eelgrass anymore. The whole passage is about eelgrass. We're not allowed to talk about other things, right? It's about eelgrass. You're not allowed to switch. That's not how science works. So it's definitely C. I like this question a lot. This is, like I said at the beginning or in the middle somewhere, this is absolutely why in reading you want to have scrap paper. A lot of the things that I write down in these videos, you can just do in your head, understanding what words mean and things like that, connotations. But this is a question where I would 100% have written those arrows down on my page. I can't make sense of this without it. So trying to visualize things is really important in math, but it's also really, really important in reading. And so that scrap paper is going to serve the same function that it does in math. It helps you prevent careless mistakes, so don't be afraid to use it.